This is your number one independent radio, REPEL on 100.5 FM Abuja. Hello and welcome to the news desk. I am Idimachi Ikechukwu. First, the headlines. Resident doctors' strike commences today, threatens nationwide healthcare services. Security forces repel attack in PLATEAU, arrest suspect. Russian authorities confirm death of 16 Cameroonians fighting against Ukraine. Australia's most decorated soldier arrested and charged for war crimes. We'll bring you details shortly.
As the news drops, it breaks with us. Join us for news on the hour every hour. News desk at 12 noon, Metro News at 4 p.m. Enjoy infotainment, breaking and sports news at their best 24/7.
This is REPEL FM News.
And now the news in detail. The planned strike by the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors beginning today is set to disrupt services across federal and state-owned hospitals nationwide. The industrial action comes amid renewed concerns over the government's ability to sustain agreements with health workers under President Bola Tinubu. Reports indicate that resident doctors have spent a total of 51 days on strike since the current administration began, including 2 major strikes and a warning action between 2023 and 2025. The latest action is linked to unpaid allowances and the reported suspension of the revised professional allowance table, a key agreement reached after the 2025 strike. In a statement, NARD described the move as unfortunate, accusing the federal government of triggering another avoidable shutdown of medical services. The development is expected to place additional strain on Nigeria's healthcare system, with patients likely to face delays in treatment across affected hospitals. The Plateau State Police Command, in collaboration with other security agencies, repelled an early morning attack on Pomol village in Barkin Ladi local government area. The incident occurred at about 4:30 a.m. on April 6th, following a distress call reporting gunshots in the community. A joint response team of police, military, and other operatives engaged the attackers in a gun duel, forcing them to flee into nearby mountainous forests. Despite the intervention, 3 persons were confirmed dead, while 1 other sustained injuries and is currently receiving treatment. During a follow-up operation, a suspect identified as Suleiman was arrested around the redemption camp with visible bloodstains and is now in police custody. The Commissioner of Police, Basi Ewa, visited the scene, commiserated with affected families, and assured them that efforts are underway to apprehend the fleeing suspects. And now Nigeria is intensifying its push for a unified African gas market as regional leaders and stakeholders gather to tackle the continent's energy deficit. This latest strategic move, rooted in the Decade of Gas initiative, aims to synchronize policies and fast-track infrastructure development across borders to unlock Africa's massive energy reserves. Amarachi Amushe has this report.
The crisis of the Middle East has made the world to turn its attention once again to Africa's gas resources. Nigeria's proven gas reserves is estimated to be Africa's largest. At this Decade of Gas Ministerial Roundtable, held in partnership with the World Bank, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Gas, Ekperikpe Ekpo, made a clarion call for total regional synergy. He argued that without harmonized policies and shared infrastructure, the dream of an integrated continental gas market remains out of reach.
You can agree with me that Africa's energy future will not be determined by abundance of resources, but by our to act together. We hold over 600 trillion cubic feet of proven natural gas reserves.
The World Bank is backing the move. Representing Country Director Matthew Vegas, Justin Beluken pointed out the irony of West African nations struggling with electricity despite sitting on vast gas supplies. He's asking for a removal of supply constraints to power the region.
For the World Bank Group, this agenda is closely aligned with our Mission 300, which aims to accelerate access to electricity for more than 300 million people in sub-Saharan Africa by 2030. Achieving this objective will require not only investment, but also stronger regional integration and coordinated action across countries.
Regulators are fine-tuning the blueprint. NMDPRA Chief Saidu Mohammed advocated for cross-border systems, while NUPRC's Orisemuyiwa Enso called for rapid commercialization to ensure the decade of gas delivers more than just stock.
We are committed to ensuring that gas plays its rightful role.
As the summit concludes, the consensus is firm, and it is that Nigeria is no longer just looking inward, but is positioned to lead a collaborative energy revolution across Africa. Amarachi Amushe, Lagos.
And in electricity, the Transmission Company of Nigeria says it is set to expand the national grid by reconstructing and upgrading the 138-kilometer Alaoji-Onitsha transmission line. The project, being executed in partnership with the African Development Bank, involves upgrading the existing line to a 330 kilovolt double-circuit system to boost capacity and efficiency. According to the company, implementation of the Resettlement Action Plan has commenced, including the acquisition and clearing of the right-of-way for the project. TCN also confirmed that compensation has been paid to project-affected persons across Abia and Imo states between March 31st and April 2nd. And in a rather sad note, the Speaker of the Kebbi State House of Assembly, Mohammed Zuru, passed away in an Egyptian hospital where he had been receiving treatment for an undisclosed illness. Zuru died last night after a period of ill health. Sources close to the Kebbi State government confirmed his passing, though details about the nature of his illness remain unknown. The late speaker, who represented Zuru constituency, was widely regarded as a seasoned lawmaker and a key figure in the state's legislative arm. An aide to the governor on communication and strategy, Idris Zuru, described the news as shocking. You are listening to News Desk on REPEL 100.5 FM. In the news, resident doctor strike commences today, threatens nationwide healthcare services. Security forces repel attack in PLATEAU, arrest suspect. And still to come, Russian authorities confirm death of 16 Cameroonians fighting against Russia. Australia's most decorated soldier arrested and charged with 5 counts of war crimes, plus business, entertainment, sports, and weather. Please stay with us.
As the news drops, it breaks with us. Join us for news on the hour every hour. News desk at 12 noon, Metro News at 4 p.m. Enjoy infotainment, breaking and sports news at their best 24/7.
This is REPEL FM News.
Thanks for staying with us. And now on the African scene, Cameroon said Russian authorities have confirmed the deaths of 16 Cameroonians fighting against Russia. This is the first time the Central African country has spoken about the involvement of its nationals in the ongoing war. In a statement broadcast on state media, the ministry called on the families of the dead to make contact with ministry officials in the capital city of Yaoundé. A Cameroonian diplomatic note referred to the deceased as military contractors of Cameroonian nationality operating in a special military operation zone, a term Russia uses to describe the war in Ukraine. Still on the foreign scene, Australia's most decorated soldier was arrested today and charged with 5 counts of war crimes relating to the killing of unarmed civilians while on deployment in Afghanistan. Police said a 47-year-old former Australian Defence Force member had been arrested at Sydney Airport. Count records named the man as Ben Robert Smith. Australian Federal Police said he was charged with 5 counts of war crimes in connection with the murder of 5 people in Afghanistan between 2009 and 2012. The maximum penalty for each charge is life imprisonment.
And now a business update from REPEL 100 FM.
Dangote Refinery, Africa's largest, has increased exports of gasoline and urea to African countries hit by supply disruptions caused by the Iran war. According to owner Aliko Dangote, the refinery, which is operating at its maximum capacity of 650,000 barrels a day, had helped cushion the full impact of the crisis both in Nigeria and across the continent. He said the facility had shipped some 17 cargoes of gasoline to other African nations, and exports of urea fertilizer had also recently risen as buyers sought alternative sources of supply. And still in business, the African Export-Import Bank has approved a $10 billion Gulf Crisis Response Program to help African and Caribbean economies, as well as their banks and companies, to counter the severe economic shocks triggered by the conflict in the Middle East. The support program is designed to, among other aims, sustain essential imports, providing short-term foreign exchange and liquidity to support vulnerable member states.
This is entertainment news on REPEL 100.5 FM.
U.S. rapper Kanye West has said he would be grateful to meet members of the Jewish community in the UK after controversy over his headline booking at this year's Wireless Festival. In a statement, the rapper said he had been following the conversation around Wireless and wanted to address it directly. The controversial rapper has caused outrage for almost half a decade with anti-Semitic, racist, and pro-Nazi comments. And back home, the Nigerian Medical Association Delta State branch has disowned a histology report circulating online and attributed to acclaimed relationship coach Blessing CEO. It said the document was altered from an original result issued to a different patient diagnosed with breast cancer. The NMA said the report in circulation was originally issued on May 9, 2025 to a patient identified as Mbara Deborah.
REPEL Sport.
Barcelona are reportedly shifting their attention to Victor Osimhen after Atletico Madrid reinforced their stance on keeping Julian Alvarez. Barcelona had identified Alvarez as their primary target for the summer transfer window, but the Atletico striker is proving difficult to price away. The Catalan club is exploring both Alvarez and Osimhen as potential replacements for veteran forward Robert Lewandowski. And still in sports, Minnesota United has denied rumors that midfielder James Rodriguez is suffering from a potentially life-threatening muscle-wasting condition. The Colombian international returned to the club's training ground yesterday after being hospitalized. The 34-year-old showed signs of illness during Colombia's 3-1 defeat by France on March 29th and subsequently spent days in hospital with severe dehydration.
REPEL weather.
This afternoon across Nigeria, expect sunny and very hot conditions in the north, with temperatures rising above 35 degrees Celsius. The central region may experience isolated thunderstorms, while the south will see cloudy skies with chances of rain showers later in the day. To end the news desk, here is our last line. In the words of Richard Marcinko, a war veteran, author, and radio host, the more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in battle. And that's it for the news desk. I am Idimachi Ikechukwu. You can now watch us online and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at REPEL 100.5 FM Abuja. News on the hour comes up at 1 p.m. Good afternoon.
Music for your